have proved that we the people are better stewards of our national wealth than any hedge fund manager or corporate Wall Street slob in the history of New York. We the people are Santa Clauses. They are a bunch of Grinches.
Yes.
Amen.
I want to thank Gavin. I want to thank the Young Republicans. I want to thank the other organizations that have shown up nonpartisan. Like Vish said, this is a Republican, Democrat, independent, American issue.
Yep.
I also want to thank all of you here for freezing today. And what I really want to thank is those brave people who are holding the lines. They could have been millionaires at any time. Instead, they proved that here in America and here in New York and even here on Wall Street, some things are just a little more important than money.
Yeah.
I want to take this time to announce maybe the next mayor of New York and the Guardian Angels here to keep us safe. Mr. Curtis Lewa, if you want to come up, say a few words.
Yo, Weevil's gonna need some Guardian Angels by the time I get over there. It's right down the fucking block.
I don't think I need the amplifier, right? You can all hear me.
Let's do it.
Look, first of all, I want to thank you for bringing all these diverse people together at a time where our nation is at odds. But we can agree on one thing. The playing field needs to be level for everybody. And this past week proves, as of all people to say this in defense of that Hazarai, that pig, Steve Cohen.
Fuck Steve
Lenny
Cohen.
Dykstra, who doesn't have two nickels to rub together, who was last seen dumpster diving for his dentures, said, the man who has all the gold makes all the rules. Do we believe that in America? The man with all the gold makes all the rules.
Boom.
We talk about hedge fund monsters. Bernie Madoff, biggest financial crime in the history of America, $14 billion with the world's largest hedge fund. How could you have been any more criminal than that? And yet you saw people who sought to profit, who begged Bernie Madoff to invest their money in hedge funds that obviously just ended up whining, dining, and pocket lining Bernie and his cronies like the Will Ponzi's who own the New York Mets. There's some synergy here. Just bear with me a second.
Oh, yeah.
2008, behind us. Wall Street imploded from greed. Almost took the entire world's economy down. You remember that? Lehman Brothers. All the big banking. Bond issue companies. And what did they get from us, the taxpayers? A massive bailout. Bank of America, $25 billion. Chase, $25 million. Citigroup, $25 billion. Wells Fargo, $25 billion. And they said quantitative easing. And what did the average man and woman get? Bupkis. Ugats. We had to pay for that. They got 0% free money from us, the taxpayers. So there's been a history of this. But this also has to do with free speech. For an open forum and discussion of ideas. Now, I don't know how many of you have been in Facebook jail, Twitter jail, YouTube jail.
I'm in right now.
I'm banned.
I'm there right
I'm
now.
banned.
All right, the only place they haven't got me yet is my MySpace. Because I'm 66 and you probably weren't even all born when MySpace came about. But they want to repress free speech. There was, years ago, I think it was 2010, Yahoo message board, in which all the big whales, all the big traders, they had their own private channel. Then Yahoo decided, let's open it up to the small investors. Let's give them tips. Let's get them ahead of the curve. And then what happened? The FBI decided to bust it down because the whales got all upset that average everyday traders or investors were getting some of the same kind of information as them. Insider trading information, right? You should go to jail. when you have inside trader information. One of the main individuals who shut down the trading, as average Americans were making money because they were beating them at their own game, was a guy who should have been in jail, Stephen Cohen, now owner and operator of the Mets, who is guilty of insider trader information. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Bernie Madoff, insider trader information.
Yeah.
Wall Street thrives on insider trader information. Do the day traders get that? Do the average men and women get that? But when all of a sudden they decide to pool their resources and come together and compete with the big entities, then all of a sudden everything gets shut down. I'm going to leave you on this final note. They screwed the little people once. Subprime mortgages, remember? Subprime mortgages, they said, would lead to the American dream. And men and women out there lined up to get their subprime mortgages, knowing that the VIG would come, and like organized crime, they would lose everything. The Democrats knew that. The Republicans knew that. Wall Street knew that. And then subprime mortgage imploded. And they floated them out as junk bonds. Remember? They bundled it up. Malaysia was buying it. Saudi Arabia. They knew how to keep this scam afloat. Subprime mortgages almost took America down because it robbed average men and women of a dream to have a home of their own, which is one of the principles of raising one's equity, one's standard, and being independent and autonomous. Well, thank you for coming together. Left, right, everyone in between. Let's get these hedge fund monsters before they get us. Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And also, if you're an insider on these funds, on the hedge funds, reach out to Project Veritas, reach out to James O'Keefe. You got a lot to say. They have a lot they want to publicize. So get your information out there. Get your inside information into the hands of real journalists. And you can message them on Signal 914-653-3110. Be brave, guys. Be brave.
Hold it up, Al.
Here we go, guys. Take photos. I thought there was like a love note on here for a second, so I just wanted to be careful. And no, thank you, Curtis, for speaking truth to power. They told us they had no money. They gave us a measly $600 check. How many people lost their jobs? How many people lost their businesses? How many people were driven into destitution? Not because they were lazy, not because they were stupid, but because with the economy, what they did to the economy, they shut it down. Meanwhile, these hedge funds were stupid. These hedge funds were lazy, and they lost their money legitimately. And now what do they want? They want us to bail them out. They want Janet Yellen to make phone calls for them. Yeah. They want to shut down trading. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you did anything like that in your day job, you'd be fired and on the street. But these schmucks in Wall Street, in Greenwich, or wherever they are, they could do whatever the hell they want to do with no repercussions. No repercussions. Where's our $2,000 check? Where's our money? They give us $600. These guys, they take billions from us. Billions. We bailed them out in 2010. They're screwing us again today. They want their own little club where they can make money, where they make the trades. They'll take your cash. Don't get me wrong. You could go on Robinhood. You could buy your blue chips. You could buy your Apple. You could buy your Tesla. But don't you dare think you're going to play fair with them. Don't you dare think you're going to beat them at their own game with the short squeeze. The short squeeze has done more to put a finger up to the establishment than anyone ever has before. So God bless the short squeezers, God bless Wall Street bets, because they took a sledgehammer to the establishment this past week. The largest transfer of wealth is correct. This is massive, and they want to bury this story. They don't want to know that they don't want you to know that there's hypocrisy, that there's two standards, and that they're making money while you're losing money. They want it closed. They want it the old boys club. If you're in the club, great. You can make the money. You can wine and dine, like Sliwa said. Steve Cohen, that coward. He couldn't even stay on Twitter. Portnoy made him run. What a coward. What a coward with all his money. He can't even take the heat on Twitter. And this guy's robbing us blind. Robbing us blind. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous what's going on. So thank you all for coming out and showing your support. We're probably going to do a presser on this side too. So if they want to shift here. Yeah. But, let's keep up the pressure. Hold the line. Do not sell.
Absolutely.
Do not sell.
Absolutely. Who are you, sir?
I'm Gavin Wax, president of New York Young Republican Clubs. We organized this today.
Yeah.
Oh, and thank you, Gavin.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to do a presser now this way, so the crowd, whoever wants, just stay in the back there. We're going to be talking this way, so just cheer whenever you hear something good. Let's make sure that the world knows that we're here to stay.
Oh, yeah, we're going to be here every day.
All right. I don't know if we're doing questions or whatever, but we're happy to take any questions. Me and my VP, Vish Burra, Staten Island, Manhattan. Who wants to ask anything? Gavin Wax, Gavin space Wax, Vish Burra, Vishburra.
And your titles?
President, New York Young Republican Club, Vice President, New York Young Republican Club. But look, we came out here today. This is a bipartisan show of support. We put out appeals to the left, to the right, to the middle, to whoever. This is an issue of transparency. This is an issue of corruption. This is an issue of double standards in society that we're so sick of seeing. And we wanted to come out here. We wanted to play off of the old vestiges of Occupy Wall Street about 10, 12 years ago, whatever the hell it was. And honestly, it's kind of a shame because what's happened the past week is almost just as bad as what happened 10 years ago. But no one's talking about it. I can't wait for them to make the movies about what happened. I can't wait for them to make all the shows about what happened. Because what happened was a bunch of anonymous nobodies, Joe Schmoes, the people that you walk by every day, the people that you'll never recognize on the street, they gathered together. They used their collective force and action to bring down hedge funds. They brought down multiple hedge funds. We have Leon Cooperman crying his crocodile tears on CNBC. Give me a break. These guys short companies into the ground. Into the ground. Businesses like AMC. You want to talk about AMC? It's a movie theater. Everyone loves going to the movies. Why is the price down? Because no one could go to the movies and these guys are trying to finish them off? I mean, come on. Come on, it's a joke what these guys are doing. And everyone wants to talk about, oh, the short squeeze, the short squeeze. The short squeeze was a legitimate response to over-shorting an asset. They over-shorted it, what was it, 50% over float? These guys made how much money? And they didn't think anyone was going to call their bet, call off their bluff? When it hit $40, what were they doing? When it hit 50, 60, 70, they waited to $400 to start shitting their pants? Give me a break. Calling Janet Yellen because she's bankrolling in her speaking fees. Who's paying $1 million to hear what Janet Yellen has to say? I got you guys out here in the cold and I barely know what I'm saying. No one's paying me. I mean, it's a joke. It's a total joke. And then they're making all their phone calls, they're moving all these things around to do what? To bail themselves out because they finally got beat at their own game. And now they want to change the rules again. That's what they're talking about. They're on CNBC. They're talking about changing the rules. They want to make it so nobody can make money. They want to make it so all of you guys have to keep working your BS 9-to-5s and you can't become autonomous. You can't make money on your own. You can't make money through trading or whatever it is. They want to perpetuate their institutional wealth within their own little closed game, and everyone else can just, they get nothing. They get nothing. So they're going to change the rules to make sure this never happens again because they're upset that the plebs stood up, that the rabble stood up, and they made a big scene, they make a big dent. So that's why we're here today, to keep the pressure on, to keep the press on. We got to keep holding the line. We got to keep letting our voices be heard because there's a realignment happening in this country between right and left, center, whoever. Everyone sees the corruption. It's been exposed. It's been on full display. Everyone's mad. We may disagree on some things here and there. We may disagree on some policy, but this is blatant corruption. This is theft. This is fraud. This is collusion. Everyone can get behind that. Those are basic crimes that we can all detest. So that's why we're here today. So I wanted to thank everyone again for coming out. Happy to take any questions.
Where's Anthony Denier? Where's all these CEOs? Because that's who I'm looking for. If you need to see what I look like on TV, whatever. I'm going to be on Wall Street every day with my friends. I'm paying them $100 to slap a CEO. That's how I feel.
Well, speaking of CEOs, I forgot the biggest thing.
Let's go.
I forgot Robinhood.
Yeah.
Robinhood, democratize the markets. Give me a break. That was bullshit, democratize the markets. They got everyone on their app. They got everyone on their stupid app thing. That's why I have the hat. I completely forgot this thing. I was wearing it. But anyway, why'd they get people on their app? They gave you out free stocks. They said, oh, you guys can play with the big boys. You guys can make real money. Join Robinhood. Give us your money. Come buy stocks. Come do your thing. It's a democracy. It's a democratic process. Nonsense. The second people started making real money, and let's talk, they made millions. These people made millions. They went out and they bought homes. They paid their student loans. They helped pay their medical bills. They gave to charities. They did good things with their money. I think Curtis said it best. They were great stewards of their money. They didn't go, buying yachts and going off to, Saint-Tropez or whatever the hell these hedge fund guys are. They did good things with the money they earned. And then what did Robinhood do? Vlad, whatever the hell his name is,
yeah.
They shut it down. They shut down the trading, but they didn't just shut it down. Shutting down would have froze it. What did they do? They said you can't buy, you can only sell. Well, what's going to happen to the price? It's going to crater. It's going to crater. And then what was Citadel doing during this whole time? They were closing their positions. They were bailing themselves out. This was rigged. It was collusive. It was a giant scheme. And I hope they do full investigations because you have guys going to jail for memes. They're putting people in jail for making memes. But these guys steal billions from us. They steal billions from the people, and then they have the audacity, they have the chutzpah to come back to us and ask for money to bail themselves out? Give me a break. They all need to be investigated. They need to look into the books. They need to look into the phone records, the text messages, because there was a lot of things going on there, and it wasn't kosher. I can tell you that much. But yeah, so screw Robin Hood. They stole from the people and they gave to the rich, as the great Dave Portnoy has said. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so crooked. It would be hilarious if it wasn't so crooked. But that's what we're dealing with today in America. Double standards. We're all on the losing end of that standard.
How long are we going to be here doing this?
I don't know. I'm freezing.
No, I'm talking about. Are we going to keep pushing until we get justice?
Look,
yeah.
Look, call your representatives. Look. The Attorney General of New York, Tish James, she's a Democrat. She's a liberal Democrat. I don't agree with her on a lot, but I got to give her credit right here, right now. She went against her own party and she exposed what Cuomo did, okay? She went out there and she did what an Attorney General is supposed to do, and she exposed the corruption in the nursing homes with the 12,000 deaths. Robin Hood is based here in New York. She has jurisdiction. The Attorney General of New York should investigate these crooks. She should seize their records. She should seize their text messages, their phone calls, whatever it is. Do a thorough investigation. Upend their offices wherever the hell they are. Maybe
offices are in New York. They're like on 59th Street.
Beautiful, 59th Street. All right, so Tish James has to go to 59th Street. Oh, it's a long walk, guys. That's a schlep.
It's cold.
It's cold, and that's a schlep. But anyway, she has to go into those offices and see what the hell happened. She will become a national hero, and I guarantee you, if she did that, she will get praise from Republicans and Democrats alike, because we're looking, where's the aspiring Attorney General? Where are these prosecutors? You're looking at a red meat issue right here. This is an issue everyone wants to get behind. I have Antifa guys here just being like, whispering like, yeah, I'm cool with this. This is good. This is good. If you could get both sides of this divided country behind an issue, what the hell are you doing? This is red meat. This is just waiting for you to run with it. So I hope the Attorney General gets involved. I hope they expose this corruption, because it's utter nonsense what's going on. Utter nonsense.
And what are we going to do if these
You're a better reporter than them.
If these leaders don't do what they're supposed to do, what are we going to do?
You cannot be silent, and don't become a doomer, all right? There's change. Yes, change always happens. There's been worse times in history, so don't get all doomy. Don't give up. Don't be pathetic. Don't complain. Don't kvetch. Just go out, do things like this. This is a Sunday morning. I'm sure you guys could be having mimosas or something somewhere, maybe some of you. But just continue to put the pressure on. Hold the line. There's tons of we have so much in front of us with social media, with the apps you could still buy stocks on. There's plenty we could do. We cost them $70 billion in a matter of weeks. So there's plenty that could be done. So don't give up the fight. All right, guys, you want to say anything? No? All right. Thank you all for coming. We'll be here schmoozing, doing our thing. Oh, all right. Curtis Lee wants to say something.
Man, here we go.
One last thing. Just as a memory muscle. And you've done a great job. You really done a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
What did they say in 2008, remember, about the whales on Wall Street? They're too big to fail.
That's right.
Remember that? They were too big to fail. So we, the average people, had to bail them out. Now that the hedge fund monsters have been caught in this situation where they don't want a level playing field, they shut down all trading. They shut down all social networking. They say that the people who invested their money, it was all stimulus money, while they were sitting at home eating their Lay's potato chips and Oreos, growing barnacles. Right, growing barnacles on their backside. Well, guess what? They're being protected because it's thought they're too big to fail. Guess what? They need to fail. There needs to be fiscal pain compliance, because that is the only language that they understand. You lose your money like we lost our tax dollars in 2008, like investors, because you're short the stock, like Goldman Sachs sells you a portfolio, then comes back, shorts the stock, and runs away with all the moolah shmoolah. A double oofa to all of you. Thank you.
Of course. Give him a round of applause. He's running for mayor. But yeah, it's nonsense. We have Vish Burrow wants to say a few words.
I just want to say a few words. The elites in this country have ruined our freedoms, and we need to stand. We need to stand together as Americans. Not a left or right issue, it's an us versus them issue. We will stand against managed decline. They know that they can make money whether America goes up or down, and so now they want America to go down and cash out of everything that this place is worth, and we are not going to let them do it anymore. We are taking a stand now, and we will keep fighting until our freedoms are realized, and we are given what we were promised, and that's the American dream.
Amen. Amen.
Occupy Wall Street.
And I would love to see them bail out the small pizzerias, the restaurants, the bars. No one cares about them. These guys are committing suicide. They've lost everything. They've lost their homes. They've lost the ability to support their families. All right, you're the hedge fund guy. You lost some money. All right, sell your second home on the South Fork. Sell your Hamptons place. Stop going on your vacations. You guys have enough to fall back on. What about the little guy? We've seen the biggest rise in poverty and unemployment and business closures in a century. And we're supposed to shed tears for these guys because they lost a bet? Give me a break. They lost their bet. They're idiots. They should have done better. That's what they tell us. When the little guy gets screwed, oh, too bad, try harder, pull it up by the bootstraps in their rigged game, in their rigged system. They have all these financial instruments, these financial securities that allow them to make money the way no one else can make money, in such a rapid pace that no one else can compete. Robinhood was supposed to be the good thing. Robinhood was supposed to allow the regular people to play the same game these big boys are playing. But instead, we were all taken for schmucks, and they screwed us. They prevented us from making an honest buck, and now they're laughing at us. But they're not going to be laughing forever, because what the Wall Street Bets guys showed is that you could really have collective action to take a sledgehammer to these guys, and I hope it continues. So again, thank you. I think we're done with our lineup of speakers, but we're going to be hanging out. We'll talk. It's an anonymous bunch of moderators. I mean, they have the little emoji. I think we have someone here who's supposed to be dressed up as them, but I don't know where he is. But you'll find him. He has like he has a blonde wig on. But look, you have you have people named like Kitty Cat Killer taking on Leon Cooperman. You have these guys with these ridiculous screen names making these guys look like fools. It's hilarious. I mean, this is like comedy genius. They took GameStop. Who would have thought? If I told you 5 years ago GameStop would have brought down Wall Street, you all would have laughed at me. We are living in the best timeline, people. It's only going to get better, hopefully. So thank you all for coming out. Any questions, though, before we end? All right, cool. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. If our leaders don't do their jobs, we'll do their jobs. I would drag these people out of their offices, bouncing their head off the street until they figure it out.
Hell yeah, let's get them. And
This is
we'll do
what I
interviews
look like.
over here.
Hell
Here,
yeah.
we'll do interviews right here. Just line up and we'll answer whatever. Yes. Whoever's first. Oh, you're the cameraman? All right, talk to... Right here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you can look at it.
Perfect.
Yeah. So today's name of the event is Reoccupy the Wall
Reoccupy,
Street.
yeah, it's great
so-
branding. Look, we're reoccupying it. I mean, something started here 10 years ago. We're playing off of it, and it seemed like a perfect place. We're taking advantage of the history. We're taking advantage of what happened here, and not taking advantage, it's a bad word, but we're building off of it, because even though I don't agree with necessarily all the people that were involved in the original protest, I think there's underlining sentiments that are the same. There are underlining frustrations with what's going on. Our contention would be that this is not what these guys are saying. It's not a free market. It's not a level playing field. It's very much rigged, and I think most people agree with that. So we're trying to build off of that. So that's why we reoccupied it, so to speak. Even though we're probably going to be going home after this.
So what do you think of the lawsuit against the Robinhood?
Good. Sue them out of existence. Litigate them to hell. Litigation's the best weapon. Here's the thing, though. I think these guys factored in litigation. They factored in the SEC fines. They factored in everything. They were looking at such tremendous losses that they are willing to face possible prosecution and possible litigation just to screw us over to save their own behinds.
So how long this event will last? Like several days? Or just,
No, I mean, we're going to do more. I mean, this is the first of many, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of news when trading opens up tomorrow. The next week is going to tell us a lot. I've heard that they want to open up some partial trading. Okay, we'll have to see. So we'll see what happens. I mean, as the news develops, we'll recalibrate and we'll do more.
Yeah. So what do you think the motivation behind it, like behind the GameStop stocks?
I mean, look, they called them unsophisticated, they called them stupid, but these anonymous traders online saw how overshorted GameStop was, and they did a legitimate thing. They short squeezed it. That's a legitimate market reaction. I would argue that's the market self-regulating, because you have these short sellers who are overshorting stocks. There's more shorts than there are stocks, and that's a very risky bet. So these guys saw it and they started buying, and they didn't want to budge on their position, so they lost out. So that's a perfect example of just winning at the game. They won, and they beat them at their own game, and now they're trying to change the rules on them.
Okay, I see.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir?
Yeah, can I just...
Oh, sorry, we'll do anyone else? Questions? Yes. I like that phone cover.
I'm a little more.
Sure.
On that goes back to the
We'll stay here till I don't know, 2:30, something like that. Maybe we'll be back. We're not going to glamp here. Some people will. That's the thing. We do have jobs, and yeah, we have to get back to them after this. I mean, we don't get bailed out, and we don't have Janet yelling.
Last week, I'm staying until I catch one of these motherfuckers.
Gavin Wax, president of New York Young Republican Club. We're the oldest and largest in the country, and we're part of this new realignment of politics that's going on. So that's where we're at. Anyone else? Yeah, let's do it here. No one has any more questions.
Okay.
Here you're going to be able to see the tax keep
all poured out in the street. That's where this is going to have to be poured out. Democrats, everybody from the Yang Gang, everybody else, that's fine. It's a good democratic process. Republicans, we have some of our own. So let the battle begin.
You don't plan to offer everybody in New York universal basic income to roll around tearing up buildings?
I don't have two nickels to rub together and throw them around like man. My campaign is we're going to have to get rules. I survived the 70s of it. By the way, we're not 70 times. When we were under fiscal restraint, it was a cheerleader cheering people on who was suffering. Get over it.
Get over it. It's the old days.
It will be a better day later on. But I lived through fiscal restraint. So all these ideas will give money away, and the printing press like the federal government, raise the debt ceiling, raise the deficit. I say my point of lie, and we can pay for this. My children and our grandchildren. But nobody seems to care. The Democrats and Republicans. Free money, free money, free money. Somebody's got to pay for it, and it's normally the middle class. Normally the middle class, they can't figure out any tricks. They can't cook their books when it comes to the IRS.
Took me by surprise. I didn't know you had the organizers. You did so well, yeah? Do you have a card with the press? I have other stories I'm trying to get out. Do you have a card? I have other stories I'm trying to get out. Do you have a card?
Steve?
And he's one of them. I'd rather not look at. I got to look at him every day at 12 o'clock. I'd rather not see
Yeah, which one is he?
New York, he's campaigning the next New York State.
Oh.
Talk about horror. We talk about that. 72 hours and there's no reprieve. Courtesy. Well, you got to listen to me on WABC radio every Tuesday from 12 to 3, and then obviously all you got to do is one thing they haven't put you in yet. Facebook jail, Twitter jail, they haven't put you in Google jail. You can Google me and see everything that I've done, especially the things politically to lead up to this mayor.
Curtis Lee, free mayor. 50% else are so adeptly moved between Italian and Yiddish.
And survived Red Boys. Never getting shot by the mob. The guy who's in Gambino and took a licking and came back kicking.
Congratulations and good luck to you.
Hi, my name is Melina with NTD News, sister media of Epoch Times. Heard of us? I was wondering if you wanted to do a quick interview for our live stream. I heard you're running for mayor too. Congratulations.
Yes.
That's awesome. So how long have you been Guardian Angel?
Oh, I started the group back in February 13th of 1979, so it'll be 42 years.
Wow, that's awesome. Cool. So I think we're ready now. If you want to
Okay.
Sorry, can you just real quick? We're gonna do a really quick live interview.
I'm a candidate for U.S. Senate against
You're the one who started this movement, right? You started this today. Started by Jack.
I was here actually
You were
at
one of
the
the people who
original
found like
Occupy Wall Street because I was
No,
feeling
no, I just attended.
You're just a popular.
and I wanted to get glasses.
Well, we're here with Mr. Curtis, who is the founder of Guardian Angels, and he's very passionate about this Reoccupy Wall Street movement that everybody's out here speaking about today. So I just wanted to ask you a couple of quick questions. First of all, why are you here?
Well, remember, Guardian Angels are best known for going after street criminals. But when you have white-collar criminals who bend the rules, break the rules, make the rules, aren't they as guilty as somebody who sticks a gun in your back while you're at the ATM machine taking your cash deposit out? To me, it's the same. So it's really to stop those who may have criminal intent on Wall Street. There needs to be a level playing field. We've always represented the average guy, average gal in this city and across America with our many Guardian Angel groups, and we'll continue to do so in fighting these hedge fund monsters.
So are you personally involved in this kind of fight back? Are you holding on to this stock? Or are you involved with this directly?
I don't have two nickels to rub together. I throw them around like manhole covers, so there's no stock here. It's just looking after stockholders and people who want to invest and live the American dream. Why should it be limited to the few? Or as some have said, the man with the gold makes all the rules. Really? Well, I noticed the dollar is deflating and more people are buying gold. So who are all those people buying gold but average Americans out there in the heartland of America?
So I wanted to ask you a couple of tough questions. I'm not sure how long you've been involved with this, the stock market situation and the hedge funds. Maybe you have some information from 2008. I see some similarities here, right? We're seeing that a lot. So I'm just wondering, what do you think? What specific example of corruption stands out to you? And I'm just wondering, are you at all concerned about the possibility of in the future the small people who are holding on to the stock getting hurt because of the selling of the higher price stock now?
Well, look, anytime you invest in stocks are volatile. Bonds are not. You make a decision to get involved in the volatility. It's like if I go to the track and I'm betting on a thoroughbred horse, or I go to the casino and gamble. The house obviously has the advantage. Wall Street has the advantage. But you can still make money. There's no doubt about it. It's a risk. All I'm suggesting is you keep the level playing field. And if you're going to bail out those that are too big to fail, like 2008, when they leveraged away America and the world. Remember, the world was on the brink of fiscally dissolving. And nobody went to jail. They got free money at 0%. They called it quantitative easing. It's like, where did they invent that word from to justify basically giving these big companies free money? Bank of America, Chase, Citigroup. Why?
So is the target at, do you think that the big hedge funds are the ones that are the bad, like are the ones that should take the blame for this? Or do you think that ultimately it's the government that should be targeted or should be held responsible for this because they're the ones that bailed out these hedge funds?
The hedge funds are the riskiest of the risk takers in Wall Street. There's no doubt about it. They borrow money and then they short a stock that they may have originally sold you. So that's a form of fiscal technology like gold mine sacks. They're the worst. They're the best. You come in, they offer you a portfolio. You say, oh, it sounds good. You say, yeah, you can get 8% on your return. The moment you walk out the door, they're shorting your stock. They're making windfall profits. That's not fair. I mean, there are things you can do. I'm not suggesting that hedge funds shouldn't exist. There's a place for them. But they have to operate on all the same rules as everyone else, and they never do. It's their way or the highway.
Okay, thank you so much. So what do you hope happens in the future as a result of this movement? What do you hope is the outcome?
Well, that Wall Street understands that there are times that the whales take a loss, and they got to suck it up like a small investor, take a licking, a fiscal licking, and come back ticking. They have the wherewithal and equity to do that. And they've taken losses before, so this is not unique to them, but they don't want to see the little guy or the little gal make theirs, and that's sad. They're basically saying invest, but you're never really going to make money, and that's unfair.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Can you just tell me your first and last name? I know it's...
Sure, I'll give you my card. It's Curtis.
Awesome. Thank you
And then
so
it's
much.
S-L-I-W-A. Sleewah would be pronounced S-L-E-E-W-A-H.
Got it. Okay, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good?
Is it still live? I want to ask someone else. Did you see anyone that spoke? Anyone who spoke particularly?
Yes, my thing is, I don't think we should look at parties anymore. I think the politicians on Wall Street is the biggest mistake that we're making. It doesn't matter what party you run on, as long as when you get in there, you enact the policies of the people. So creating a new party or anything of that nature.
Yeah, I put on my mask.
It is really hard to say. It depends on the market. So this next week is going to be really interesting. Limit certain trades trying to suppress individual traders. So it really depends on this government investigation, I guess litigation against these companies, government legislation, so hard to tell. You want to come?
I agree with what I agree. I agree 100%.
I'm not a big stock market person, so I can't really say to alternatives to the stock market, but I guess what individual people should do is stop buying Amazon, stop buying slave-made Chinese goods, stop buying, just stop buying from local corporations, all these corporations.
Yes, I did. Okay.
Use your credit card for any of these big corporations if you need to. Use cards or elaborate check code.
NTD News, sister media, Epoch Times.
Never give cash.
We're founded to report the truth about the...
I know. Right. Well, you can take that. I know. Hillary was involved in stealing well over $1 billion through the foundation. That was supposed to go to the earthquakes. I actually think so, and that wasn't the only money that was stolen. That's one of. Yes, exactly. And I think the U.S. is trying. Absolutely. So we need to.
And using two masks just shows.
Me too.
Just because we voted for them and they get it, it doesn't mean they're doing the right thing. So throughout their whole seat in office, we should be looking at everything they're doing, holding their feet to the fire. Ooh, I don't know. What is your channel? What is MTV? MTV? MTD? Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. I'm going to. I've never heard of it.
And, you know, they spin however they spin. Maybe they'll spin it to the benefit of the little guy, and the prosecutors in New York like the chief.
You don't see it on my video. I know, right? That was the same weekend that y'all. I'm getting a pair outfit. This guy told me he's all federal action. Yeah, like
Well, so Wall Street, were you guys ever before this happening, ever had talks with like, what if the general public did this? Was this ever a fear before this happened, even back in the day?
Right. I know that's a lot of people. Yeah. Why? Because what did you buy?
Because this is what it is. I had GameStop, AMC, Cost, and Mickey. Now, I can't buy the average down there. Oh my God.
What good is that?
But if I was I want to put it in, I'm not selling it. There's no yeah, and they stopped me from using these funds to another position. So we all know what's going on. The backlash of the media. There's some limited details. I want to find.
So, for example, Milton Financial, they're one of the big ones that went into bankruptcy, right? So, Milton Financial is what? It's an LLC. If they file for bankruptcy because, margin calls come in, they owe money to the clearinghouses, technically, because they have to pay off these losses. When Milton Financial goes into bankruptcy, is there anyone that's individually liable? Because when it's an LLC, it runs off the company's social security and EIN. So, it doesn't really affect anybody per se, right? It's just more when it comes to...
How are you in the Young Republican Club when you look old? Tell me what's happening.